Well, good morning. Happy October 8th, 2023. I'm coming to you from the palatial bedroom of myself and my 3-year-old granddaughter. I'm David Merrick. I'm 71 years old, and I know a little. I thought I'd take some time and share it. I don't know whether anybody else is going to see this, but at least someday, decades from now, my granddaughter will dial it up, look, say, Papa knew something, and maybe I better listen to him. So here's for Jesse, also known as the Bean, and anyone who wants the information. Nutrition is really easy. If you strip down everything, there's some components. There's the fact that your body is 70% water. So you need a good, clean, fresh source of water. Okay. You also need nutrients, vitamins and minerals, because vitamins and minerals work synergistically with each other. And what that means is that one is needed to absorb the other. I don't want to get into it too hard, but that's a fact. And also, you need to understand that your body, like anything else or anybody else, wants to make a profit from what it's doing. What that means is if you offer your body food that is in a form that's difficult to break down and turn into something useful, then it's going to store it in the least difficult way possible. So if you give it something that has very low nutritional value for the content, it'll turn that into fat because it takes too much energy from the body to turn it into membranes and muscle and tendons and clear skin and healthy hair. That makes sense to you, but the body analyzes what you stick in your mouth and it says, okay, here's what we're going to do with this. Now, if you give it something raw and nutrient dense, let's say a well-grown vegetable, a well-grown fruit that's fresh, it's going to take that and it's going to break it down and send it to places that need good stuff to grow, good parts of your body. There's something called enzymes, okay? And you're born with enzymes, and as you get older, you use up your enzyme bank. But there's also enzymes in the food that you have. If you take a piece of steak, let's say, and it's freshly cut from a butcher shop, and you put it out on the counter rather rapidly, the enzymes that are still alive in there, because they don't need a living animal, they just need the nutrients that are in that piece of meat, will quickly attack it and spoil it and make it so it's not useful to you. If you cook it beyond 121 degrees, as I understand, that's Fahrenheit, the enzymes are killed. Not all of them, but most of them. The hotter you cook it, the longer you cook it, the more enzymes die. What happens then is after you've cooked a piece of meat, you put it on the same counter next to a fresh piece of meat that hasn't been cooked, and eventually it will spoil, but it will spoil a lot slower than the raw, fresh piece of meat, because by cooking it, you've killed the enzymes. If you take the same piece of meat and instead of cooking it, you put it in the freezer and you bring it out and set it down, freezing puts it in somewhat of a suspended animation. So until it thaws, those enzymes are frozen in time. And so it will last longer until it thaws. And once it hits room temperature, it will degrade at the same rate of speed as the raw, fresh piece of meat that you originally put there. Same with vegetables. Yeah, you don't cook too many fruits. But if you cook vegetables, you kill the enzymes, and then you can put that vegetable out on the counter next to a fresh vegetable that's come from, let's say, the same bush or the same tree, and it will sit there, and the fresh one will decompose faster than the cooked one because, again, you've killed the enzymes. I hope that's simple enough. But if you kill the enzymes, your system has to work harder to turn that food item into something valuable. So again, if it's a really great, valuable, let's say vegetable that you cooked, it might be able to use some of it for building your body, but it's also going to take some of it, the non-profit part, and store it as fat. It'll store it, since it's in your gut at that time, it'll store it as fat in your belly area, in your hips, in your ass, in your thighs. It's not going to pump it up to your shoulders or something like that. That's too much work. So I hope that what I've told you makes sense and it's logical, okay? Because that's the key with anything, is if somebody's telling you something and they can't explain it in under 10 minutes without confusing you, maybe they really don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, I've got no degree. I trained racehorses for 30 years. And since my folks were elementary school principals and my competitors in the horse business, they were all fourth and fifth generation horsemen, I knew I didn't have an edge in knowledge because I couldn't go to grandpa or dad or great grandpa and ask him about this problem I was having with a horse. I also thought about veterinary school, but God, I hate education. I hate going to a class and learning 99 things that are worthless to me to learn one thing that's valuable. I didn't even think about blacksmithing. God, that looks like the most painful job I've ever seen in my life. So I asked around, and it turned out that the top horse people that I was training with, and this was in Ohio at the time, and this is 30 years ago, didn't really have much of a grasp on nutrition. So I found some people that knew a hell of a lot about livestock nutrition, and kind of apprenticed to them. I was going through a divorce and a bankruptcy at the time, and so I really didn't need to worry about making money, and I didn't really have to worry about a relationship. And I had plenty of time to just help out and learn and glean information. And I've continued on that route over the last 30 years. Never really thought about sharing it with anybody, but you know something? People deserve to know. People are animals, and what I know from true experience, hands-on experience, I think can easily be transferred over to you and be helpful. So anyways, just wanted to share with you. I'll be back with more information every day. Take care and thanks a lot.